Today I'm doing exactly what the title is saying I'm going to do. I'm going to A your cues, which you have given to me through Twitter. We'll start with the question by It's Shog. So many questions, where do I start? I'm going to answer with the Lewis Carroll quote of begin at the beginning and go on until you come to the end and then stop. Next question is from my friend Faris, whose username is @Faris_Ghannam, and he's asking me why it takes me so long to watch what people recommend to me. Background is that he told me to watch this very specific movie that he thought that I would enjoy, and I did not proceed to watch that movie for the next year and a few months. Faris, it's because I'm busy. I have stuff to do. And to be honest, I don't always trust people when they tell me that they think that I like something. And I trust you now, so friendship. Next question is from this person called Majda. Her Twitter handle is @gloriousbag, and she's asking, how much do you love me? So many directions in which I can take this question. Well, is infinity a number? Or can I do that thing where kids are like infinity plus 1? But that's not a real number, right? I haven't done math in a while, but Majda, I love you so much that it's almost unreal. You make everyone's lives better and brighter, and people should follow you on Twitter. Next, we're gonna answer a few questions from Abrar, whose Twitter handle is @3dgisLove. Her question is, she has multiple questions, so we're gonna rapid fire. Favorite podcasts are Serial and Modern Love, and this podcast by Malcolm Gladwell called The Revisionist History, I think. Tea or coffee? And my answer is, it depends. And then she asks me what my favorite memory TV memes are. If you don't know what they are, I really don't want to explain them. But I will talk about my favorite ones. I really like this one because it sounds like something I'll actually say. This one, high-key, glad about. Female beauty is no longer dependent on looks alone. Thank God. And I love this one so much. We came to the conclusion that whoever kills himself is committing suicide. And this one, mainly because I love SpongeBob and I just find this so incongruous that it's hilarious. The main character, SpongeBob, lives in a giant pineapple. How do you think he acquired the house? Through jihad. Her next question is asking where I want to travel to next. And Aslila's question, @AslilaODFSB, is also asking about travel bucket lists. So I'm gonna answer both at the same time. I really want to go to France. I want to go to Seychelles Islands, I think it's called. I want to go to Ontario, Canada, because a lot of cool people actually seem to just live there, and I'm like, hello, you're all the way over there. Also, I'd like to go to Montreal. I really want to go to French-speaking countries just then I can practice my very rudimentary, barely there French. I really want to go to Senegal just because it sounds cool. South Africa just because it sounds cool. Sudan because I have my friends from Sudan and I'm like, ooh, nice. I would say Libya, but it just looks awkward, to be honest. I really want to go to India. I always want to go to Japan. That's like a constant want in my life, but specifically during cherry blossom season. I really want to go to Nepal. That sounds amazing. I want to also go to the north of India. Darjeeling, my sister went and it looked so cool. There are so many great places on the planet. Also, what I really want to do is I want to take a trek. I want to properly hike up mountains and get from one destination to another. And less so much of a, oh, I go up and I come down and then the entire experience is the trek. I want something to be like a proper journey from point A to point B, where one of our modes of transportation is just the whole walk. And I would really like to have a few months of my life of just going places, hanging out, like go around Europe, go around the Arab countries, like chill for a bit, you know? And then the next part of Aslila's question is pet peeves. I can't think of a lot, but ooh, I really don't like when a post says something like, psychology says. What's psychology? Where is your evidence? What do you mean psychology is saying this? And something else that kind of annoys me is when someone says anyways. It's one way, anyway. Oh, I don't like it when people say consequences instead of consequences, which is a very Bahraini English thing to do. And I don't like when people say comfortable instead of comfortable. Are all of my pet peeves language related? Oh, I really don't like when people add the word porn to something to make it sound cool. Like, I don't need poetry porn, I don't need word porn, I don't need food porn. They just use it to make it look like it's something very desirable and something very great, but I'm like, why is an account named after this? We could do better. My favorite book genre is, I guess, fiction. Is that a genre? I really like multi-generational stories. stories, but the problem with them is that they take a long time. And I also really like stories that are kind of like slice of life of anime, where it's just people enjoying each other's company. These questions are from Daisy Moon at Sosafo. What made me start reading is kind of, I don't know, I've always been reading. It's kind of like if someone asks you, when did you start watching TV? When did you start watching movies? It's kind of always been a part of my life. When we were kids, our parents would read bedtime stories, or my mom would make up bedtime stories. The first chapter books I was reading, I think, were like the Junie B. Jones series and the Babysitter's Club series. And I never got into Goosebumps because it just always looked dumb to me. Daisy Moon also asks, who or what inspired me to start a YouTube channel? I've been watching YouTube since at least 2009, but I also remember that at that time I made this new YouTube channel, or like new YouTube account, because I didn't like the username of my old one. So that means at that point I was probably watching it since like 2008, maybe 2007. I'm like an OG person on YouTube. I've been watching and following people for years. Like, I've watched people go through multiple life stages, and there hasn't really been one thing inspiring me to make YouTube videos. It's just always been something I've been wanting to do, kind of. I've always wanted to be part of the conversation. Next few questions are from Maryam Eshkanani. Favorite nonfiction books? I really like The Hidden Life of Trees by Peter Walbin. Love this book so much. It's so good. I also love this book called Summerhill by A.S. Neal that's been out of print since the 70s. But it's so good and so worth reading. You should get the PDF version of it. It kind of just changes your perspective on raising children and schools and how people should be raised. I think I'll talk about some of these in a different video. I love almost anything by Atul Gawande. So Being Immortal, The Checklist Manifesto. I also really liked When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. Malcolm Gladwell is great. I also really like the book The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Maria Kondo. They're all really great books, but the problem with nonfiction is you yourself have to be interested in order to enjoy the subject matter. So sometimes there are books that I'm like, oh my god, this is so great, but I can't recommend you to anyone because no one cares. Mariam also asks, if I could rather be a tree or a star, what would I be and why? I'd rather be a tree because stars seem lonely. Favorite YouTube channels? I really love Sprinkle of Glitter, Lex Can Roar, not sure what her name is anymore. I love Lena Norms. I love Rosiana Halls Rojas. I don't know if I'm saying her name right. I don't know if I'm saying anyone's names right. But Sprinkle of Glitter is Louise Pentland. I also really love Dan and Phil Gaming Channel because I think they're hilarious and so funny. And I love their friendship. And I really love watching their Sims videos. I love Dan Is Not on Fire, who is just Dan Howell now. I love the Vlog Brothers. There's so many YouTubers I like. There's also a bunch of booktube people that I really enjoy their content. I don't know a lot of their names. Those are the ones that I can remember from the top of my head. Okay, how I plan my day or week is a topic. We might have to keep that for a separate issue. Like, that is such a topic. And Mishari at Twiggy Moo is asking, isn't the new Drake song fire? I guess the one from 3 days ago. It's called Nice for What? Yo, that's so fun! I want to memorize that and sing that in the car. Sorry, fire. That's so fire. So I answered a few questions, but then my phone stopped filming. So if I missed out your question, I'm really sorry. Tariq from @TariqAmir is asking, rank the Chris's, Pratt, Pine, Hemsworth, and Evans. And listen, that is such an intense topic, we're leaving that for another day. Final two questions are kind of related. Abrar is asking if I know what field I want to do in the future, and what is it, and what are my thoughts on it so far. And Shog is asking where I see myself in 5 years, and what are my ultimate life goals? Is this an interview? Give me a second. Just 1 second. Alright, you can barely see the Hogwarts house. 1 second. Same lipstick as last time. Lovecraft by Kat Von D. I'm letting it dry. I want to look professional. Okay, well, I'm really interested in the field of pediatrics, so I really care about the healthcare of children. In 5 years, I see myself working as a resident, hopefully training in that field of pediatrics. I don't know exactly specifically the subtype, but that's really what I want to be doing in the next 5 years, and so far, I love pediatrics so much. I did a rotation in it, and it kind of just highlights the importance of the field, because when a child is sick, it doesn't only affect the child, it affects the entire family, especially the parents, because someone needs to be taking care of the child while they're in hospital. And I really feel like childcare is societal care. Oh, sorry. Ultimate life goals, so including personal life, financial life. In 5 years, I could be married in 5 years. I could have a child in 5 years. I just wanna have a good time. What am I doing with my life? Good question. Maybe one day I'll have an answer. Yeah, these questions are lumped in with the Q&A, but then the how do you plan your day and week is having an entirely separate video. And rank your favorite Chris's, that's also a separate video. Listen, priorities. And some things genuinely require the time, the effort, and the energy. So like, my ranking of Chris's is kind of more important than my life choices. Oh god, this is an interview, isn't it? Do I get the job? What am I even applying for? You know what? Bye.